All right, welcome back, one and all. This is Werelephant bringing you another video of four-player chess. Before we start, I want to give a few updates. Of course, the client has gotten a quality of life improvement here. You can now see the top 10 players. Fortunately, we have not made it on there yet, but we're working our way up. I've had a few problems with disconnecting this week, and you tend to lose a lot of points when you disconnect early in the game, especially with lower rated players. I was observing this number one player. I saw him play one game, the Random Blitz Monster, and he was harping on or promoting a change that I thought would be effectual as well, which is hiding the ratings towards until the end of the game, so that you don't get ganging just right out of the gates to try and steal the rating points of the higher rated player. Of course, this would also require you, as a corollary, to remove the player's username from view until the end of the game as well. Otherwise, of course, if they were like on the top 10 list or something, you would know just by their username that they have a high rating. So I don't know. There's pros and cons to it, but I think overall it would help. About strategy, I do want to talk quickly. There have been some good comments, some sort of baseless criticism of my play as well. One of the good things I wanted to bring up was a player. I don't know if he's a player or not, but a messenger on YouTube commented that while my analysis of the rotational play is correct, it's more of a case-by-case basis on who you should attack. And I do think I was forming my strategies a little bit too much around the rotational play rather than just making good moves. The second strategy thing I want to bring up is pawn pushing. Many of you have noticed that if you send out pawns early, you can perhaps promote to a queen before anything else happens. While that is possible, I don't think that's exactly the best thing to do. And what I've been experimenting with recently is sort of being in a position where, should a player start getting attacked, that perhaps you cannot engage in attacking as well, you will always have some pawns that you can push. And in order to have pawns that you can push, you must have already pushed them a little bit. So what I've been focusing on recently, and what I'm going to focus on in this video and this game, and let me just start the cue while I'm talking about it, is pushing pawns whenever I can, whenever there's nothing better to do. Okay? And I'm going to talk about pawn chains and which ones are safe to push as I do it, but that's really something I've been focusing on and something that I sort of was missing out on while I was doing strategies that were a bit more turtly. Because if you turtle and then, maybe you get a kill, the other person who's good gets a kill, you both have 20 points, and then he has 2 more queens than you, there's just nothing you can do. So you kind of have to be in a position where you can go promote within a reasonable amount of time, no matter the circumstance. So you've got 3 players in queue right now. Let's take another look at the ratings. One player has broken the 1700 mark, so congrats to Random Blitz Monster. The rest of the top 10 are all 1600 plus. But if you can get into the 1600s, you're basically at that point where you're one of the best players. One player, Chinese Room, has been surging up the standings, and he's in number 2 now, so we'll see if he can also break the 1700 mark. Yeah, I'm wondering, even with perfect play, what would be sort of the highest theoretical rating you could get to at this stage of the game? As more players join the community, of course, that will lend itself to more higher rated players, more lower rated players. If you're a higher rated player, you'll be able to find a queue more easily, with other higher rated players, so it should be interesting. Alright, so we've got a game. There's one other high rated player, Collision of Minds, to my right, which is good. I'm going to start off with pawn push. Don't want to push my d pawn because it offers to trade at bishops. And I'm going to advocate for a quick a4 here, or as the new coordinates put it, let's see, k11. So blue sort of took a lot of time on his second move. And he is playing for aggressive pawn promotion. So that seems to be the meta right now among strong players. Okay, and I'm going to push b4 as well. Pushing the queen side pawns because then I don't need to make the king more vulnerable when I do so. And this is sort of a new opening that I'm testing out. What I'm trying to do is get a pawn on a4, b5, and then c6, basically, as fast as possible. Form that strong pawn chain, which is hard for green to break, and will lend itself to quick promotions later in the game. Okay, and red is favoring a fianchetto strategy over insta promotion. Green, let's see, green is just trying to make a queen, so he'll probably make one. Not much I can do to stop that at the moment. Okay, and that's good for me. Red's doing a little bit of attacking onto blue. Blue has to play a slow rook pawn move now. And so if there's no other things going on, I'm just going to keep advancing. Okay, and I don't think red is very good. He just sort of keeps making moves that are wasting time for both him and blue. So he's sort of killing both of them by himself, or at least wasting their time. You know, nothing intense as intense as killing going on yet, but. And so now that my pawns have reached this point, I'm not going to move them anymore because they're too vulnerable to the two green queens that are on the board right now. But they're just going to be a static line of pawns here, and then whenever the queens move off of these squares, or one player starts to get attacked heavily, and both he and the other player are duking it out, and I can just sort of get a few free moves to go promote a queen, I will. Okay. I'm going to fianchetto the dark square bishop. Okay, and red is throwing. Good. Okay, I gotta watch out for green now though, because he has taken a lot of pieces and he also has an extra queen, so. Red is really just hating on blue and not even, defending himself at this point. So red's definitely the weakest player here. I'm going to try to start moving a little bit faster because there's not much I can do and not many strong moves I have right now that can really affect the fight going on opposite to me. if the player opposite to you is getting crunched, there's usually not a lot you can do because he's so far away. So that's one of the reasons why you want to have pawns ready. Say blue starts checking red, green starts checking red and is not able to use his queens for defending pawn promotions, then I'm just gonna, he resigned. These are really early resignations. So who's going to be able to claim that king? It's actually not clear. I guess green. So that's really bad, actually. He'll have 25. We're going to have to gang green. Gang green. We're going to have to gang up on green because he has points and material advantage. Okay. And hopefully the blue player will realize that as well. He is using a lot of time, though. So there's a couple scenarios that could play out here. Assuming I didn't just DC. Okay, there's a little bit of lag. If blue gets low on time, which I think he will be able to manage his time because he's high rated, I'll have to make sure I can take the blue king before green. And even if I can, then I'm still going to be a few points behind green. So I have to take some risk to win the game here. Okay, I'm not going to castle quite yet. I still don't really want to move that pawn though. Let green take that. At the moment, I do have a way of checking green, but it's not like blue can really take advantage of it yet, so I think I'm going to try and save the check for later. Now, what if I tried to get a queen or rook behind this pawn and just make a queen? I think that's what I should do next. So I'm going to attack green's pawn here with the idea of moving forward as well on my own turf. Okay, green sort of didn't respond to that. So perhaps I can get some material gain here. I will have to yield my light squared bishop, but there's enough protection of this pawn that I think it's okay. I'll have two knights defending it, and there's only one bishop attacking at the moment. Let me take this. Okay, my initial plan was to just go make a queen, but then green sort of made it easy for me to attack him, so that's what I'm going to do now. Let's see if he's able to defend the rook. Could, for example, bring the knight over to here. Yep. And he just lost his other queen, so that's good. Alright, I want to get my... I do feel a lot better about green's winning situation now. It's not so dire. What do I do next? I want to get my queen over to here. I don't want to get attacked by the rook. Okay, this will also help blue control blue's promotion a bit and support my own while attacking this one and staying out of the way of other attacks. And now you might think it's a good time to castle, but I think at this point every move is vital in getting more queens. So I'm going to push for more queens while I can. I'll try to get one and then reevaluate. Okay, so this is the reason I liked having the opening I did with the pawns. Trying to take advantage of a lull in the action with being able to promote in just 2 turns. Okay. You could think of it as like setting yourself up to succeed. Okay, now blue's threatening to push the pawn and attack the rook, so I'm going to... Well, I can also move the rook. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to swing out the rook, honestly. That knight doesn't need to be moved. It's doing a good defender's job and can't be attacked where it is, so... Next thing I'm going to try and do... Okay, I have to move the rook. Let's see if... No, okay. Let's move the rook here. I'm going to be trying to stop blue's promotions, as he's the one I deem as the most credible threat at this point, as green has shown his play is not that good. And I'm going to try and move back and attack this pawn next. And of course blue will not be able to castle because then he will be getting mated. So sort of interested to see how he defends that attack. He might just push the pawn and that could be enough. Okay, now there's something else to deal with, so I'm going to deal with it. Okay, I'm starting to see some gagging going on. I think I can safely come back here. Okay, green's also attacking this pawn now, which is fine. Forcing a defensive... green can only take one of these two pawns, and I'm forcing a defensive move out of blue here to guard. Although, yeah, there's another attack on my queen. So this is the 1-point queen. So if I lose it, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Actually, there's a double attack on both my queens. So let's see. Might just end up taking the bishop with check, and then lining up my bishop and my other queen to checkmate. Okay, so I think in the center I'd sort of mismanaged my queens a bit, and you know, it's not the end of the world, but I may have a little bit of trouble now in my hands. I can deliver another check. Let's see what blue decides to do. Okay, so he's still going to promote, and it's harder for me to stop him now. So yeah, he's also following the rule of when you're not attacked, you start making queens. And I think that's a really good rule that I haven't really followed as religiously as I should up to this point. Okay, I'm going to threaten checkmate on green. Gauge the response. Okay, he's still got 39 points, so this is sort of annoying. Okay, he's checkmated. He's checkmated, and blue sees that as well, but blue can make queens now, so this is actually going to be a tough fight. Blue's going to get 2 queens. Better to push this or to take. Well, let's see. My knight's actually hanging right now, so I'm gonna probably take this with knight. Actually, blue may. Okay, he's just gonna take that. It's fine. Make another one, I suppose. Okay. So it's going to be hard for blue to make more queens now. But it's still a scary attack, you know. And he's threatening this pawn now. So I'm going to castle. Okay. Take with pawn. Or should I take with queen here? And pawn. Undouble the pawns. Okay, he's just trying to trade out now that he has a material advantage. There's a check coming, and then what? A checkmate. Okay. So I'm gonna try this. I don't think it works, but we'll see. Alright, well, if I can't win, then my next goal has to be making sure I can get 3 more points so I still beat green. Okay. Okay. Oh no. Crap. I timed out. So, oh, green actually beat both of us. Oh, that's sort of sad. But I did beat blue. So I wonder if that was actually good. And I think I lost 3 points. Yeah. So that was sort of weird that green actually ended up winning that. But I guess it was still better than blue mating me. Well, no. Well, yeah, I guess it's about equal because either I would have beaten green and lost to blue or beaten blue and lost to green. Alright. Not sure about the exact ratings on that one, but that was a good game. And blue also only had 7 seconds left. Yeah, I was not paying too much attention to time because I was in such a dire checkmate threat situation. What I was going to try to do next was make another queen, try and fight back with. There wasn't much I could do on board. And I think blue played it out well, especially considering that he sort of got tied up with red in the beginning. He didn't have too much going for him. And he was able to make 2 queens, and that really helped. So he was also following the principle that I mentioned of have pawns ready to go make queens whenever there's a lull or whenever, you know. He basically started making queens while I was checkmating green, and while green was attacking my pawns. So good play from him, and end the game there.